If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late. We've been looking for a song to sing, we search for a melody.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us, Detroit, on Empowered Living. My name is Marshall Bryant. We also have with us on the panel,
Ted Cash.
And Regina Ross.
and we are Detroit Public School educators, and we are bringing to you our show this morning, and it's about uplifting the city of Detroit and bridging the gap in community. We want to start off first by talking about some things that's going on in our community and globally as well that affect us. So the first thing that we want to talk about is some protesting that's going on in our city. Ted, can you start us off telling us about, what's going on?
Well, first we want to protest is going on 7 Mile Beauty Supply, 7 Mile in Wyoming. It's two beauty supply places where they are very disrespectful to the customers, the people of color. So there's a protest. Do not shop, do not buy on 7 Mile, Wyoming, across the street from the KFC. Also, we are protesting Walmart. Walmart. They are selling a Thug Life or a Tupac look-alike mask. So we want to protest. Do not spend any money with Walmart.
Yes, for Halloween, I saw that they have a thug mask, and the thing is, the replication, it looks nothing like Tupac. But the image itself, to exploit and to say that, this is an image that, you're making fun of, and to say this is something to be, to go out for Halloween, is really deplorable, in our community. And it's not anything that we want that our children to think is okay.
Right.
Right, because if it's a thug life mask, I mean, who does it resemble?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, why would they have that? Who are you representing? What are you saying? So those are things that we think about, and we want you to think about. And like we said, we're protesting.
Yes, it's degrading. It's very disrespectful, and it's a ploy of discrimination. So we want to come together and protest against Walmart. Also, we want to protest against Wyoming and 7 Mile against the beauty supply places.
And when you're talking about the beauty supply, now when you say we're protesting, I want the audience to understand what's going on. Who are they talking about? What are they saying? Is it their behaviors? What's going on?
It's their behavior. One lady, they threw some money back at her when she spent her money. Another lady, she was helping the homeless and tried to get some business. They didn't want to support her. See, people come in our community and they never give back.
And they believe that they can just disrespect us.
Right.
She's just gonna throw the money back at the lady.
Yes. So why should you spend money with a person who don't care about you?
Right. What are you saying?
Right.
I mean, you're demonstrating that I'm of little value.
Right.
Right. And the thing is, they're in our community.
Right.
So the
People of
thing, we
color.
have to take more responsibility, and we have to also stand up and say, look closely at where we're spending our money. We're very quick to, embrace everyone else, but we need to start embracing our own. We need to start building our own. And until we do that in our community, that's why people are allowed to come in, and it's almost like we have to accept just whatever we're given, and that is not the case. We need to turn that around.
Right.
Because if it's our community, we have a say. Our dollars mean more than what we are allowing them to. We got to
Yes.
stand for something.
Right.
Yes.
And I would like to say one good thing that has happened to us. We're having the Community Advisory Council in the city of Detroit. So that will do some things to help us to develop ourselves. We'll be able to create our own companies, our own businesses. We'll learn how to manage our money correctly, and we don't have to be treated like second-class citizens. So that's a good thing to have our council
Right.
coming up, community
I
council
want
for
to
the
interject.
community.
Also, too, a lot of times people take that supporting your own and doing for yourself, they take that out of context and think that we hate other ethnic groups. That's not the case here. Uh, red birds hang with red birds. Bluebirds hang with bluebirds. Elephants hang with elephants. Lions hang with lions. So it only makes sense to spend with your own. The Asians spend with their own. The Chinese spend with their own. The Jews spend with their own. So how come we can't spend with our own and love ourselves?
And we can, but the main thing for me is to let people know that we will not be disrespected.
That's right. Speaking of disrespect, I know we got a few things and we're getting ready to wrap up before we go to break, so I'm going to try to make this quick. There is a pharmaceutical company, and this is the thing we have to look at in the election as well. When we have to look at the candidates and if they're really looking at the issues that are affecting us. And there is one particular candidate, I'm not trying to sway how anybody is voting, that made it clear that the pharmaceutical companies, they are getting away with highway robbery. And one specific case of this is there is a pharmaceutical company called Gilead. Gilead, they produce the drug Hep C for those that have hepatitis. There is a panel, there's a committee that decides and they vote who gets this drug. And I've been following this story because there was a particular teacher. She had her students write to a former person that was part of the Black Panthers, and he has hepatitis. Well, she was fired. So once I started following the story, I found out with the hepatitis that he was denied the pill by this company. Now, to get this drug, the pill is $1,000 per pill in the United States. In India, the pill is a generic form of it is $4.
Gigantic difference.
I don't know about anybody else, but I can't make sense of this. This makes no sense to me. And the thing is, for them to determine who gets it and who doesn't, that means they're sealing your coffin right then and there.
Right, and that's another form of being disrespected.
That's right, and it's a form of, that's genocide.
Well, yeah. I
You
don't
know,
wanna
just
say it,
determine,
but
and
yes.
then also
Genocide.
the disease is spreading. So we have prisoners in Pennsylvania that have the disease that is not getting the treatment. And, now they have lawyers that are looking into it, especially for this particular person that has it, that's incarcerated. But, those are the things that we need to start looking closely at. And we need to start, not turning our heads. I know the media and a lot of things, they'll have us looking one way, and we're not looking closely enough at real issues because, one, that's a disease that is communicable.
Right,
So once it
exactly.
spreads,
Yeah.
and there's probably people that don't know they even have it. But then, and of course, they know people are passing it along.
Right.
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 So that's the thing that we need to be very, very cautious of. Ted, could you tell us, I'm going to end right there because like I said, we have to briefly move along. So you have some classes that you want to tell us about, and Regina, you have some job updates, I'm sure you want
Yes,
to tell
I
us
do.
about.
Yes.
Yes, Tai Chi class. I am the Tai Chi instructor. I teach at the St. Patrick's Church on 58 Parsons and Woodward. This class is for all the senior youngsters. Movement is medicine, health is wealth. We teach 9 a.m. every Friday. 9 a.m. every Friday on Woodward and Parsons, 58 Parsons Street. We also teach at Source Booksellers, a bookstore owned by Janet Jones, 4240 Cass and Canfield. Every first and third Saturday, we teach at 10 a.m. 4240 Cass and Canfield. Source Booksellers, every first and third Saturday.
Wow, that sounds great. Okay, I'm going to tell you again, I'm Regina, and I'm going to tell you about some job openings. Kroger's has job openings, Little Caesars has job openings, and remember that they're building the Little Caesar Arena downtown, so there are lots of job openings there. Also, the state of Michigan has job openings, the U.S. government has job openings, and Detroit Public Schools Community District has job openings. Okay, that's it for the job openings.
Boston Market too.
Oh.
7 Mile and
Right.
Illinois.
Okay.
Boston Market.
Right, you hear that? 7 Mile and Livernois.
All positions.
That's
All
right.
positions.
That's
right,
part
and
of
that is a way that you could come into to an opportunity to start. Maybe if you don't have that much experience, you can start there and you can work yourself up because, like he said, all positions. So you can start at working the counter and work your way all the way up to management.
Okay, so we're getting ready to take our first break. This has been a great discussion. I hope you all are enjoying it, Detroit. We have more to come with special guests. Our next segment will be about financial empowerment, and we will have Mr. Maji Hogan L, and we also have Miss Crystal Gunn. They're going to be on with Regina for our next segment of financial empowerment. And as you can see, we have some books on the table. So we have an author in the studio with us, and she's going to be sharing some information about her books. And her featured book that we're featuring today is Today is Your Last Day. Say what? We're going to have her say it because I can't say it like she can, but it's amazing. So please come back and join us because you're going to love it, Detroit. So come back and stay empowered. Thank you.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday.
WHPR TV is now on demand. Catch us when you want, how you want, where you want. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch your favorite TV shows on demand. And be sure to download the WHPR app. We're now on demand at your demand. WHPR TV Detroit on demand.com, a Watkins Broadcasting Company. Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. For only $99, you can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at TV33WHPR.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man.
And welcome back. I'm Regina Ross, and this is our financial empowerment segment on Empowered Living. And we have Imaji Houghton L. and Crystal Gunn with us today. And they've been here before. They gave us a wealth of information, and today they're going to give us some more information. We're talking about corporate America today, and we're talking about cooperative economics. So,
Yes.
you may start. Yes.
Well, corporate America, wow. We're looking at a situation in which our dollar bill is not doing too well on a global market. So we as a people in our community must brace ourselves and prepare ourselves for the slogan, the motto that we know all too well. Last hired, first
Fire.
Right.
And then the thing with that is, that's been going on for like 30, 40 years, and we're still talking about that?
And we're still talking about that. So there are some immediate things that we must do some things that we can do overnight. And one thing that we are not doing that many other cultures are doing throughout the world is cooperative economics. And that will curtail anything that corporate America throws at us.
Right. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about that so they can see how they can get
Sure.
involved overnight?
Sure. Well, when you go in Dearborn, in the city of Dearborn, on the porches in the city of Dearborn, which is the largest Muslim population in this country, is the city of Dearborn. But on the porches, there are 3 to 4 to 5 chairs, okay? And parked outside of the house, each house in this community, there are 3 and 4 cars. So what that tells you is that there's more than one family living in those houses. So they are literally cutting capitalism by living as a group together. One family in one house. Whereas we have, well, I'm in one house on this side of town, on the east side of Detroit, and then my mom lives on the west side of Detroit. Well, that means that mom is paying $1,000 in rent, and I'm paying $1,000 in rent. That's $2,000 in rent alone every single month. Cooperative economics calls us to do what the Mexicans do in this country, where they purchase a large apartment building, maybe, or a 2-family flat, and then they put 3 and 4 families in it. And then they save money, all of their income from those 3 or 4 families. They save the income for a year, and at the end of the year, they go and purchase a business. That's cooperative economics.
And Imaji, would you say that we need to go back to the basics? Do you remember when grandparents lived in the house with you?
Absolutely.
Aunts and uncles?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, when I was putting our national economic plan together, I went out and I interviewed various groups. And in terms of the Arab community in this country, that's exactly what they do. It's always somebody at home. And that's why, because you have more than one family within the family living in the house.
Right. I know this is getting off subject a little bit, but I think that would help and aid us with our stress. Because
Absolutely.
we're stressful, we're trying to, like you said, the $2,000, you're paying $1,000, she's paying $1,000.
Absolutely.
So we're very stressed.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what you find is, you know, when you have grandmother at home and grandfather at home, when you come home now, the children can hear the stories of old. They can hear the wisdom being passed down. But when you have to go all the way across town to grandmother, right?
Every other week.
And sometimes you may not get there because you're so tired in this 40-hour, 50-hour, 60-hour a week job. So the children begin to miss out on the wisdom that needs to be passed down from generation to generation just because of a lack of cooperative economics.
And I do like how you're raising your family, because most of the time we see your wife, we see your children, and they always have a book with them.
Yes.
And they can
Yes.
they're very intelligent. They have a wonderful vocabulary, and they speak in sentences. It's just really nice to hear them. So you are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, thank
Right.
you. Yeah, well, we don't hide the secrets in the book.
Right.
If the secrets are in the book, they're definitely going to find them because they're readers. That's
Read.
for sure.
We must read.
Yes.
Oh, Crystal, let's hear something from you.
So when we talk about those jobs, and Maji just mentioned that job, we have to, I think going forward, you have to understand where you came from. And this whole thing of us living separately and going to work every single day is something that's done by design. And it's ingrained in you since grade school, right? So you go to school, they tell you what time to be there, they tell you what time to get hungry. So what time you can have lunch, what time for you to go home. And if you're here every day, at the end of the year, we're going to give you a certificate for great attendance, right? And then if you give back to us what we taught you, right, then we'll give you an A. And then you do that in high school, and then they tell you to go to college, and then you take all of these student loans out for college, and then you go get a job. And so now you have a job. They tell you what time to be to work.
Yes.
They tell you what time you can get hungry.
Yes.
They tell you when you can go on vacation.
Yes.
And if you do what we instructed you to do, we're going to give you a paycheck. Right. So in essence, you switch your report cards and teachers for an employer and a paycheck.
Right.
And you do this cycle. And in essence, every single month, you're really working for free. So that JOB being just over broke, you're working for free. So
Could you say that part again? Crystal? We're working for what?
you're
What are we
working
for?
free.
Right.
And people say, I'm not working for free. I get a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Right.
You're working for free. So let's just say you make $2,000 a month, right?
Okay.
You have rent or mortgage payment. You have a car note. you have insurance, you have groceries. You might take your families to the movies or out to dinner, right? You're paying utilities, DTE, water, you're paying a phone bill, you're paying back those student loans, and you don't even have a job.
Well, wait, we're up to 3,000 already, and we only make 2.
We only make
That's
two.
right. That's
So
right.
you have to go back to work next month, right?
Right, right.
And so you can stay on this perpetual cycle, and you never get over, and you
Right.
never build wealth.
Because essentially, when you talk to people, when you talk to your friends and your loved ones and things of that nature, no matter where they are in the country, and you say, "Hey, what you been up to?" What they say?
Work.
They say, "I've been working."
working.
And we have to really look at that and say, what type of life do we really want to live? What type of quality of life do we really want to have? Now, going to your point of job, now, it even starts in school, and I'm glad you brought that up about my children, because I don't want them to be in a position where they are recalling information.
That's
Right,
it.
Just repeating what I said, what the teacher said, or
Right.
whoever said,
Right.
so that you can get the A, right?
Right.
That's recall. We want to move our children and us in a space where we are analytically and critically thinking.
Right.
So when you move in that space, now you begin to say, well, wait a minute, I can create my own job. I can go out and I always tell children all the time in the classroom, look, if you can play the game, then you can design the game.
Exactly.
Right? Because if you're the designer of these little video games and PS4 and things of that, you're worth billions of dollars. And you can do that now as a child.
Yes.
Right.
Actually, use your creative, analytical, and critical thinking.
So why do you think that they took home economics out of the school?
Right. I know why.
All the
Right.
skills
Oh, I know
and
why.
crafts out of the school. Remember when you came out of high school, well, people before us, when they came out of high school, they had a skill so they could go and have a job. They
Right.
could create their own business.
Yes.
If I don't teach you that though, then you're forever beholden to me.
Right.
You have to come to work every day. And at the end of it, guess what? When my family cannot maintain the lifestyle that we want to maintain,
Yes.
what do? We then go in and lay off employees.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So
And
we
that's
don't care
what's
about your
coming next.
lifestyle.
And to answer your question, we were chosen to be consumers. We have to change that mindset
Yes.
That's right.
in this world, in this country. We are not only consumers, we are investors.
Right.
We are creators. We are givers. We are inventors. We are servicers of the people in our community. And the only way to do that is cooperative economics.
So I do a series called Take Back Your Power Financially.
Okay.
Because we have to start somewhere. And most times people say, well, I don't have any money to invest. Well, no, because you don't know how to budget and you
Right.
don't know how to master your money. And people say, well, I need an extra $500 a month. If you went and you made $20,000 more, if you don't know how to master your money at the amount that you make now,
Right.
it doesn't matter how much more you make, you still won't know how to master your money. Your money has mastered you. And that's what we have in this country. So we do have to go back and take back your power. And I just want to give a telephone number because I have a workshop
Sure.
that's this Tuesday, 5:30 at the Inkster Public Library. But you can call me to register 313-338-3840. You will leave there empowered with some things that you can do right away to start to change your financial situation. Maji will also join me as we talk about this collective and cooperative
Right.
economics
Yay.
at at that workshop. So definitely call and get registered. I guarantee
Right. Can you give that phone number again?
Absolutely. 313-338-3840.
840. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And these are immediate solutions so that even if you're working at McDonald's
Right.
at minimum wage, or you're working at Kroger at minimum wage, or Walmart and things of that nature, you still at the end of the year can be an investor and own your own industries.
Right, and that's what we want you to know. We're not saying just quit your job.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right.
Right.
But we're saying that you need to know how to manage your money. Grandma and great grandma, they managed their money.
They managed their
Th-
money.
They lived in the house. Their husbands, granddad and great granddad, they went to work, but they lived in the house and managed things. They
Yes.
created things and they made. I know my grandma used to make blankets.
Yes.
By hand, they made those blankets with the different squares. You see
The little
that?
quilts, yes,
Right,
because
right,
essentially,
right,
and
right.
what you, and to that point, what you're saying is, if you live in the United States and you don't own a business, essentially, what are you doing? you're paying bills.
That's it.
And what
Right.
type of life is it to go around in this cycle of continually just paying bills every
pay
single? I'm just
bills and
working
die.
just to pay bills.
Right.
What type of life is that? Who says that we can't own our own Delta Airlines?
Right.
Who says that we as a people cannot own our own hospitals, build our own libraries, build our own schools? Who says that we can't do it and everyone else around us is doing it?
And because we've done it for everybody else, and
Yes.
we've run it for everybody
Yes,
else. So why
yes.
can't we come together and do it for ourselves?
Absolutely. We've made other people's children very wealthy.
Very.
We've sent other people's children to private schools. Other people's children live in their private communities. They go to the businesses that the adults build for them. Why can't we? You know, I always say you don't see Asian children getting shot. It's getting kind of hot in here. Oh, my goodness. You don't see Asian children getting shot down in the streets.
No.
You don't see Arab children getting shot down. Why is that? Because after they leave the schools, by the way, that their parents and their uncles and aunties have built for them, they are going to the businesses that their uncles and parents and adults have built for them. So they are not in the face of the police. You see, they are being trained at young ages to take over business. They are being trained at young ages to be investors and be owners of their own community. We must do this for our children. We don't have a choice. Time is out for pull yourself up by your own
You can't
bootstraps.
do that
Oh,
anyway.
that's the biggest lie ever told.
Right. So, do you want to tell them how they can get started immediately? Do you want them to come to the workshop?
Sure,
or
sure.
other
Well,
information?
one start would be definitely connect with us because we're doing things all over the country. We're in 22 parts of the country. We're also in international. We have a collective economic effort with a national economic plan that we are working in many of our communities all over this country and the world exactly. So I would say connect with us via the show. It is word of mouth, so definitely call into the show and get our contact information. You can connect with Crystal. Call that number. Get that number again.
313-338-3840.
Okay, great.
Yep, but definitely seek us out. Seek us out. That'll show us that you're like-minded and don't miss the night train.
Right.
Do not miss the night train.
Oh yeah, and then I want to go back in history. Back in history, when the Indians, when Columbus came over and he saw the Indians already here, living already here, they knew how to take care of themselves.
Absolutely. Well, one thing
They
when
worked
when-
the land, remember?
Well,
They
he
worked
saw
the
us
land.
when they got over here. He saw us. So
Right,
when
right.
when they're talking about Indians, they're talking about us, and that's the big secret. That's the big secret. The biggest lie ever told, and we'll do a show on this too. We'll get with our producer. But the biggest lie ever told is that we weren't already here for millions of years. We were here. And we have the paintings and the cultural diagrams and the genealogy to prove that we were already here. Many of us were already here. And I always say, where are the boats that we came on if we were not already here?
Right, we were already here, and
We were
what I was
already
trying
here.
to say is that there was doctors. We had our own
Absolutely.
doctors. We had everything
Oh,
our
yeah.
own.
Oh,
we,
yeah.
we had our own businesses. So when I say let's go back, that's what I mean. We have to teach this generation to
truth.
go back to the way we used to live.
That's right.
And our forefathers lived, and
right.
how we can make a difference.
Absolutely.
We just
Absolutely.
need to go back. We used to have our own stores on the corner.
Oh, yeah.
The gas station
Well,
was
you're
on the
talking
corner.
about Black
Everything
Wall
was in
Street.
your
Yes.
neighborhood.
Oh,
you
yes.
didn't have to go over there to that neighborhood.
Well, that's what the cooperative economics does for you. You know, the black dollar does not stay in our community but for only 6 hours, and if you had minimum wages, that's 15 minutes, and that is because everything that we need, we have to go outside of our community to purchase, even a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, clothes. I mean, school just started back, school supplies. We have to purchase everything from other people.
Yeah.
We have to take these businesses back, purchase our businesses back in our own communities and build our own.
We have
Right.
to take back our
Crystal,
power.
you have any final words?
Nope, we just have to take back our power. We do.
Right.
It's time. It's
Right.
past time.
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
It's past time.
Okay, we're going to take a brief break, and we're going to come back with our featured guest. You see her books, and she is an author.
Detroit,
and,
get ready.
Right,
Yes.
right, and entrepreneur. Monica, I'm calling her Monique. Monica Foster. That's Monica Foster. When we come back,
That's
she's
right.
going to tell us all about her wonderful books.
Absolutely.
Get ready, Detroit. Get ready.
Right. So we'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation that can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late.
WHPR TV is expanding its reach to 33 more cities on Comcast 90, Western Oakland and Livingston counties. Check out your favorite TV shows on Comcast in Southfield, Bloomfield Hills, Bloomfield, Genoa Township, Oak Park, Birmingham, Hamtramck, Brighton, Roseville, Brighton Township, Hazel Park, West Bloomfield, Royal Oak Township, and others. Don't have Comcast? Find us on Roku. Go to WHPR-TV-DetroitLive.com. WHPR TV is now on demand. Catch us when you want, how you want, where you want. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch your favorite TV shows on demand. And be sure to download the WHPR app. We're now on demand at your demand. WHPR TV Detroit on demand.com. A Watkins Broadcasting Company. Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. For only $99, you can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at TV33WHPR.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation that can't afford to wait.
Good morning, Detroit, and thank you for coming back with us. I'm Laura Sala, one of the hosts here on Empowered Living. Today in the studio we have a renowned author and entrepreneur, Miss Monica Lynn Foster. Thank you, Monica, for coming on Empowered Living today, and today we're going to talk about your featured book. And we have to ask you to give us a title and your saying, please.
I can do that. It's Today is Your Last Day. Say what? That's how
You
I
heard it,
felt.
Detroit. Say what? It's going to be a new saying from here on out the community. All right, so now, Ms. Foster, how did you begin writing this book, going from a human resource manager to a writer?
Well, I'll tell you and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share on the show, Empowered Living. I love what you guys are doing. So I was in the corporate world for 14 years, loved it up until that last year. And I had advanced up to a senior director in human resources. So when they gave me an opportunity to retire, and that's what I like to say, rather than they said, today is your last day, you're out of here. But when they gave me the opportunity to leave, I had a decision to make, because I had talked to God, or I should say God had been talking to me. I was in Italy maybe 60 days prior to November 5th, 2012. That was my release date, and I do celebrate it every year. Because why not, right?
Why not?
Does not deem yourself worth. You
That's
tell
right.
yourself what you
That's
want.
right.
Anyway. Sidetrack. But anyway, so I was in Italy, and I was visiting my best friend and her family. Her husband was stationed overseas, and we were driving along the countryside, and there was such a sense of peace that I felt that I hadn't felt in a very long time. And I was tired. I was exhausted. My body was exhausted. I was giving my job everything I had because, those were my golden handcuffs, and I was going to keep them, which meant I worked a ton of hours. And So anyway, while we were over there, I was tired. I went to sleep and I slept for 13 hours. And I can remember my best friend. I could feel her shaking me, probably making sure I was still breathing. But I couldn't wake up. And God was doing something. I really know that He was rewiring me. And when I finally did wake up and the family had gone to school and come back and had dinner, God put me in Philippians 4. And He said, I want you to stay here until I tell you to come out. And so I read it almost daily, and there were different parts of the chapter that spoke to me through the next 60 days. And the day before my release, I was actually over my mother's, and we were watching Joel Osteen on Oprah.
Okay.
And he just had a new book that came out. I can't remember the name of it, something with dreams. But I remember asking my mother, I said, do you have any dreams? And my mom was like, well, I don't know. Do you? And I said, well, I think I've been working so hard. I just stopped dreaming. I just didn't have time to dream. I only had time to work and figure out what was my next move at work, and trying to figure out how do I continue to navigate these corporate waters. And I just stopped dreaming for myself. Well, that next day, God said, guess what? You get to dream again because that job is gone. And so we had the conversation, and they told me, they wanted to go in a different direction. And I told myself two things. I said, one, you better not cry, even though you wanted to. And I was like, and two, you better remember you're a Christian and don't come out of character and say what you're really thinking right now. Plus, you want that severance. So, not to mention that the boss I had at the time was ex-military. Even if I tried to rise up, it wouldn't have worked. So, I walked out the door and like a common criminal, because that's how they made me feel, after 14 years. But when they're walking a few paces behind you and people are looking at you, you can't help but feel like a criminal. Right. But as I walked out that door, it was a sunny November day, and there was a sense of peace that I felt that I can't really explain it other than to say God said, hold on to this moment, because the days ahead are going to be rough.
Okay.
And because whenever you lose a job, you experience the life cycle of grief.
Absolutely. Yes.
And that's exactly what I went through. I was grieving the loss of that job. And so, my body went through all of that, the anger, the denial, the acceptance, and then you kind of go all through everything all over again. And so I decided I wasn't going back to corporate, but then I had to do something else. And I was on vacation with my husband, and I was kind of whining because we were at that point, we were doing stuff for him, his job. I was supporting him. I was cooking and didn't want to do all that stuff. And he said, well, what do you want to do? Because dinner's right here. What do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to write. And he said, well, then do it. Now, can we go eat?
Awesome.
And I said, okay. And so maybe 4 months later, I had the first book that you see, Bad Choices Can Be Deadly. Okay. And after that book, I actually wrote Today Is Your Last Day. Say, what? Because it chronicles.
I told you, Detroit. She's ready.
Because it chronicles my journey for the first 2 years after I left.
Okay. Right.
So let's backtrack.
I'm sorry.
So when you wrote the book, I got my book, Detroit. She signed it for me. Did you get that inspiration while you was working? Did you feel that? Did you have that desire
to write the book?
To write.
I've always wanted to write. I actually started writing Bad Choices Can Be Deadly like 11 years prior to that, and I'd write like a chapter a year because I was busy. But after my release and I had time, and I just and I was at a crossroad. Do I go back and find another pair of golden handcuffs, or do I step out afraid and figure out how to do it on my own? Kind of the way that they were talking in the last segment, Maji and Crystal. I didn't want those handcuffs again, so I said, let me figure this out on my own. Well, not on my own, with Jesus.
Right. So Proverbs 18:16, I think, it says, "Your gift will make room for men and women." So your gift is direct. So your gift will make room for you
And bring you what's in the presence of great men.
and bring you in presence of great men
Amen.
and women.
Amen. Great men right here.
Now, Ms. Foster, let me ask you something. Now, how does corporate decide all of a sudden a vested employee or someone that has been there for so long, now what they're looking for and for need anymore? How was that?
Corporates, and let me tell you, I was an emerging leader. They had me in they spent some money on me. Yeah. Fortunately, skills are transferable, so I took all that knowledge and now I use it for my own benefit. But when you're in corporate America, you have to have a sponsor. And a lot of it's the thing that people don't talk about, but it's true. You have to have someone who is petitioning on your behalf when a meeting is taking place and you're not at the table to talk for yourself.
I see.
If you don't have that sponsor, it could be a wrap.
Okay.
Because someone who does have a sponsor that's speaking up for them at the table is going to do so. And when they have decisions to make, you just might not make the cut. It doesn't. It should never be a reflection on you and your self-worth.
Absolutely.
It's, it's just the direction they want to go. So it's never personal, even when it's personal and it feels personal.
Still all business.
It's not. It's business.
As African Americans, especially women in our race, there's an expectation to exceed 10 times over in corporate America. So what advice or what suggestion you give for people who are still in corporate America who are working?
I'll tell you my advice, and it is not traditional or conventional wisdom, but my advice is to always seek God in everything you do. And I'll tell you, the very last job that I had was the one job that all I saw, honestly, were the dollar signs and the new title. I did not ask God about that position.
Okay.
I saw an increase in a paycheck.
Okay.
I did not want to be just over broke.
No, dollar signs in your eyes. Not
That
the
dollar
words.
sign. It was the
Absolutely.
first, but it was the first time.
Absolutely right.
But and that was a bad move on my part.
Okay.
Every other move I made under his guidance. And I really believe that because corporate is still for some people.
Yes,
Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody, and it is hard.
Yes.
So, you seek the Lord in all your decisions, even when they don't make sense to your conventional mind. If he's telling you to do something, that's what you do.
$1 million question. $1 million question. Are you willing to make movies out of your books?
Without a doubt.
All right.
Yes.
Looking forward to this movie.
All right. All right.
Let me ask you this, too. You do a celebration every year.
I do.
What's that celebration, and can you share how it enhances your motivation for what you're currently doing?
It depends. I might let my husband take me out to dinner.
You might let him
I
take
just
it.
might. I just might.
Okay.
Every year, I will post something on Facebook too, because we are in budget seasons in the corporate environment. That's
Absolutely.
where they are. It's unfortunate, but a lot of people will find themselves saying, today is my last day. Oh Lord, that's maybe my next book. Oh Lord.
You heard it, Detroit. She's endorsed it. She's endorsed it.
But I do post something just to encourage people and just, it's a reminder to me that even though the job didn't work out or didn't last as long as maybe I would have liked, it lasted as long as it was supposed to. And I have to remind myself that even when the path that I am on is a challenge, it's still God's path.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell us how you purchase your book. How do you
How do
go
you
about
purchase?
purchasing your book? Purchasing your book.
Amazon. You can go to
Amazon.
Amazon.com and look me up, MonicaLynnFoster.com, or my website, MonicaLynnFoster.com.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, this has been a chock full of information, Detroit.
A treat.
And an absolute treat, Ted.
Yes,
Absolutely.
treat.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to hearing more. We're going to take a short break here, Detroit, and when we come back, we're going to hear some more exciting information about Ms. Foster, who is an author and sounds like she's going to be a movie producer as well.
Right.
For this next picture. So come right back. and join us.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday.
Welcome back, Detroit. Here again, we are back with us in the studio, Miss Monica Lynn Foster, the renowned Foster. Give them the title again. I love hearing this.
Today is your last day. Say what?
All right, Detroit. You all better get ready. You ready? And also, I have mine. She already signed mine and endorsed as well. Now, Miss Lynn, you have, Miss Foster, you have a new book coming out October 18th this week.
Yes.
Can you share with the viewers a little bit about this new book and how it incited you to write this?
I will. Actually, it's not, I don't have it in front of us right now.
Okay.
The books are on their way, but they are available for pre-order.
All right.
On Amazon, I will say that.
Okay.
And on my website, I will say that.
Well, give us a website later on, but yes, please.
It's Monica Lynn, Lynne, Foster.com.
Amen.
Okay. But it's called Single Mama Dating Drama. And it is so funny. Let me tell you, it's a Brown Girls Books publication.
Okay.
So it's an anthology. There's 17 very talented writers. I happen to be one of them. I don't know if I should say that like
yes,
that.
you
but-
should.
You should.
But so anyway, the stories talk about the woes and the pitfalls and the joys of dating as a single mom. And so my story in the book is called Never Go Back. And the story is about a woman who has to decide between new love and old comfort. And her daughter wants her daddy back. So I know, right? So it's gonna be really. It was a fun book to write. It was my first venture into short story writing, and but the stories are wonderful. Brown Girls Books is actually a company owned by Victoria Christopher Murray and Rashonda Tate Billingsley. They are two powerhouses in the African American book world, adult fiction.
So, are you willing to instruct, have seminars, coaching, membership, mentorship programs for new authors and young authors?
I do, and I enjoy it. One of the things that when I was in human resources, one of the things that I really enjoyed about being in HR and that drew me to that profession was the coaching. I enjoyed coaching and mentoring my employees. And like I said, your skills are transferable.
Yes.
So instead of doing it now in the corporate setting, I actually do coach, and I have coaching packages and things like that on my website. But I just enjoy helping others bring their dreams to life. If you go on my website, that's actually what I call it, make your dreams your life. That's my tag, because you only have one life.
Yes.
You know, you should be living it to the full. And the fact that, up until 4 years ago, I didn't even know how to dream. I understand a lot of people are today where I was. And so I do what I can to help them get beyond that.
Mentoring, I love it. Awesome. You mentioned earlier in our conversation golden handcuffs.
Yes.
How did you come up with that analogy?
It popped in my head. I promise you, writer's brain. It just, and I'm thinking about doing a book about it too, because that really is what it is. They are golden handcuffs. When you even if it's just a job, so it's not what you want to do, but you're surviving, your needs are met.
Absolutely.
Some of your wants. Stepping away from that, if you have kids, you have family, you have people depending on you, it is very difficult to step out on your own and venture into the unknown. So to me, that's what they are. You're handcuffed to your life, maybe in a way that you don't want to be, but it's familiar. And so that's why I call them golden handcuffs. You're getting paid. You're just not getting paid usually what you're actually worth.
There's still a sense of shackling.
Yes, a shackle.
Or a tether.
Absolutely.
To the
Absolutely.
Now, I also, besides your phenomenal writing skills, I hear that we have also, Ted, a modern Madam C.J. Walker in our presence.
Yes.
And
Come on with the information.
she has, this woman, I tell you, she's
Entrepreneur.
Multifaceted.
Yes.
You all have a beauty line.
I do.
Please share with Detroit and Ted and myself your fall beauty line, please.
Thank you. So the product line is called Naturally You, and it came about. My best friend and I, the same one in Italy, that said, you know, journal your experiences right now, and it turned into a book. She and I, she's back in the States now, and she and I were both going through our own bouts of dry hair, dry skin, eczema. I was dealing with vitamin deficiencies within my body, which was creating like hair loss and breakage and damage. And my hairstylist said, well, you know, if we cut you down to where the damage is, you're going to be almost bald. And I was like, ooh, clutch the pearls. I did not want that. So we started praying and asking God to reveal to us what, you know, because everything you need is already provided in nature. It's just understanding that it's there, how it works, and how you can put it together to best benefit your body. Your skin is your largest organ.
Yes.
So whatever you slather on your skin, a lot of times will go directly into your bloodstream.
Right.
So just because the jar might be brown and it says cocoa butter doesn't mean that it's really cocoa butter.
Yes.
So we went, so he just revealed and unfolded, and through the process of listening to him and obedience to him, we developed this phenomenal line. We call it Fantabulous. I promise you this line is so good. It's called Naturally You. Yep. And it's right now, it's the body butter and it's the hair butter. People are seeing hair grow back. People, I know.
Yes.
People who have pattern baldness, like it's genetic baldness, are seeing hair come back. A lady who had brain surgery and her hair, you know, they had to shave her hair and her hair wasn't coming back the way she was used to. It's coming back and it's full. My husband's hair is full. If you go to our website, naturallyyoubodyandhair.com, you will see pictures and testimonials of justice. It is amazing. And we take no credit. You know, we're just the vehicle. Because we could have just done it for ourselves and for our family, which would have been great. But there's a need beyond us. You know, people who have really dry skin that want a scented product, but they can't use it because it's too itchy, or, you know, it doesn't agree with their skin. They're finding it to be very helpful.
Beautiful. Another question.
Yes.
Your husband.
Yes.
You went into business, the gas company.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So our very first date, I said, you know, it's just like, hey, what do you want to do? You know, what would you want to do? If you could do anything, what would it be? You know, if you knew you'd be successful at it, what would it be? And he said he wanted to reopen the doors of a company that he had some years prior. And I said, American Gas Works. And I said, oh, okay, I'll help you do it. I mean, it's first date.
Right.
That's when it's God.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Come on, exactly.
And he said, okay, well, if you do that, then it'll be ours. And I said, no, it'll be yours, because at the time I had my golden handcuffs. I did not need.
Right.
Life has changed, right? Now it's ours. But anyway, that's how American Gas Works came about. Within 3 months or so after that, the LLC was reformed. And then the year following that was when I got the release, and we had just gotten engaged, and I said, we're going to do this together and make it grow. And so we are together. We're in our 6th season.
Beautiful.
We say season because this is our time.
Amen.
We do everything gas for the home. So.
I love it. I love
Beautiful.
it. And also with the Detroit, I'm gonna tell you right now here on camera, with your products, I will be a customer.
Amen.
To get her. So
I want
you've
you to
heard
do
it
video
here. Yes, we're going to video testimony because I'm going to get my afro back. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to get my afro back. So tell us again, how can we order there and purchase your products and books?
Sure. So the gateway to everything that I do is my main website, which is Monica Lynn Foster. Lynn is Lynne, Foster.com. Then our hair and body line is naturallyyoubodyandhair.com. I will tell you, as my disclaimer, the website is still under construction, so all the pictures are not there, but the ability to order is absolutely there. And then we also have a Facebook page if you want to follow us on Facebook, Naturally You Body and Hair. And then I'm on Facebook, Monica Lynn Foster. And then books by Monica Lynn Foster.
Okay. Awesome. All right. You mentioned something too before, just backing up a little bit, how a job doesn't define you or a definition of something that you, but could you just speak on that because you mentioned that off camera, and I thought that was powerful and profound when you had discussed that. So you want to share that with the viewers?
Yeah, your job is just the place where you go. It is a resource, but your job is not the source. The source is God,
Yes.
and God is who ordains your path.
Yes.
So when your hope is placed where it needs to be, which is in Christ, then whatever vehicle He chooses to use to bless you is up to His discretion. And when you can do that, then you can separate yourself from whatever may be happening to you. It's because it can't happen without His knowledge and without His approval.
Yes.
So sometimes He just has to kick you out to get your attention so that you can get on the path that He wants you on.
Absolutely.
So it's always a blessing in the lesson.
Oh.
So sometimes you have to go through trials, and then after your trial, then come ease.
Always.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Monica.
Thank you.
Well, that is just remarkable. Just remarkable. Well, Detroit, you have heard some serious, valuable information here this morning, and I just really want to I'm excited. I'm excited for the financial information that we heard this morning. I'm excited for this renowned author, entrepreneur, and again, filmmaker. You heard it here. She's going to be a filmmaker as well. Looking out for this cast because I'm sure these books are going to turn into movies. And also, I do some acting too. So when you start your casting,
I got you.
Make sure
I got you.
that I can be an audition.
I got a role for you.
You got a role for me?
I do.
Okay. All right. Does it require hair? Because
It does not.
we're going to start wrapping things up here in Detroit. First, before we go any further, we want to thank all of our guests this morning. We want to thank Ms. Crystal Gunn. We want to thank Mr. Margie Hogan. And last but not least, we want to thank Ms. Monica Lynn Foster for sharing us this morning. And thank you for joining us for Empowered Living. We want to join us next time.
Yes.
Next time. And we have it. We want one more announcement. There's an email. You can join us on Empowered Living Detroit at yahoo.com, where you can get you can see these shows and some other wealth of information. But join us next time. We will be interviewing the Seed Productions, and they will be talking about their play, Beat the Streets. So join us next time in Detroit, and always, on behalf of Empowered Living, stay empowered, Detroit. We'll see you next time.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation we can't afford to wait.